The kingdom had settled into a peaceful rhythm after the Moonlight Festival. Every evening, the palace courtyard shimmered with soft lantern light, and laughter floated from the windows like music. Cinderella loved these quiet nights. The air felt calm, the stars twinkled above like tiny promises, and the world seemed perfectly at rest. One night, however, as she prepared for bed, something unusual drifted through her window, a sound. Faint but beautiful. It was a melody, soft, sad, and full of longing, like a lullaby from a dream. Cinderella paused, her hand frozen midair as she set down her hairbrush. "What was that?" she whispered. The tune grew a little louder, weaving through the air like the whisper of a harp. She walked toward the balcony, her bare feet silent against the marble floor. The moon was high, painting everything silver, but the courtyard below was empty. "Is someone singing?" she wondered aloud. The melody floated again, faint but clear, coming from somewhere deep within the palace itself. The next morning, at breakfast, she mentioned it to the prince. It sounded so gentle, she said, pouring tea, like someone was playing a lullaby right beneath the stars. The prince frowned slightly. "That's strange," he said. "The musicians don't play at night." Perhaps it was just the wind. Cinderella smiled faintly. Perhaps. But it felt alive. Somehow. That evening, after everyone had gone to sleep, she heard it again. The same melody, soft, haunting, and beautiful. This time, she decided to follow it. Wrapping a shawl around her shoulders, she lit a small lantern and tiptoed down the long corridor. Her slippers made no sound as she moved past the portraits of kings and queens long gone, their painted eyes seeming to watch her quietly. The melody led her down a spiral staircase she had rarely used, one that wound beneath the palace into the old music hall, a place untouched for years. Dust floated in the light of her lantern, and the air smelled faintly of cedar and old memories. The song grew clearer. When she pushed open the great wooden doors of the music hall, her lantern's light flickered across dozens of old instruments, harps, violins, lutes, flutes, all covered in a fine layer of dust. But one harp in the center glowed faintly with silvery light. Its strings shimmered as if invisible fingers were plucking them. Cinderella gasped softly. "You're the one singing," she whispered. She stepped closer. The harp's song slowed, almost shyly, as though it knew someone was listening. "It's beautiful," she said gently. "But why are you playing alone?" A soft, warm voice filled the room. "Because no one remembers me," it said. Cinderella turned, startled, but saw no one. The voice came from the harp itself. "Long ago," it continued, "I was played by the queen, your mother." Cinderella's heart stopped for a moment. "My mother," she breathed. The harp's strings hummed softly, like a sigh. "Yes." She sang lullabies of love and hope every night. Her music carried peace through these halls. But when she was gone, her song was forgotten, and I fell silent. Only tonight, I felt the echo of her kindness again. And so I sang. Cinderella knelt beside the harp, tears glimmering in her eyes. "I remember her songs," she whispered. "I was so small, but I remember how gentle her voice was. It always made the stars seem closer." The harp's voice trembled with emotion. "She left a gift for you, princess. But it lies hidden where her final melody rests, within the heart of music itself." Cinderella placed her hand over her heart. "Then I'll find it," she said softly. "I'll find her melody." Over the next few days, she spent every free moment in the music hall. She cleaned the instruments, tuned the harps and violins, and filled the air with life again. The servants sometimes peeked in, marveling at how the once forgotten room now glowed with warmth and sound. One afternoon, the prince came looking for her. He found her sitting by the harp, humming a gentle tune. "There you are," he said with a smile. You've been here all day. Cinderella looked up, her eyes bright. Listen, she said. Do you hear it? The prince tilted his head. It's lovely, he said. Did you compose that? She shook her head. No. It's like the harp remembers her. Every note leads me closer to something, I can feel it. That night, the melody returned again, stronger than ever. The harp glowed with silver light, and the air shimmered like moonbeams dancing on water. Play with me, whispered the harp's voice. Cinderella sat down and placed her fingers on the strings. Together, they began to play. The music rose like a gentle wind, swirling through the hall, carrying light to every corner. The portraits on the wall seemed to smile, and the candles flickered to life one by one. Then, as the final note faded, a hidden door slowly opened at the back of the room. Beyond it was a small chamber filled with soft moonlight. In the center lay a wooden music box carved with delicate roses. Cinderella picked it up carefully. Is this? The harp hummed, her final melody. Cinderella opened the box. A tiny figure of a woman in a silver gown spun slowly as the box played a tune, the same lullaby she remembered from childhood, the same song her mother used to sing before bed. Tears streamed down her cheeks as she whispered, I remember this. She used to hum it every night. The harp's voice grew faint. She wrote it for you, so you would never forget that love lives on in every note of kindness. The prince stepped closer, wrapping his arms around her shoulders. Your mother's music lives in you, he said softly. Every time you speak kindly, every time you care, you play her song again. Cinderella closed the music box and held it close to her heart. Then her song will never be lost, she said quietly. The next morning, the entire palace woke to the sound of music, soft and gentle, flowing through the halls like sunlight. Cinderella had placed the harp in the grand hall and invited everyone to listen. The melody filled the air, weaving peace into every heart that heard it. Children swayed to the rhythm, nobles smiled through tears, and even the servants stood silently, their hearts touched by the warmth of the sound. The queen's old melody had returned, and it brought joy to everyone once more. As the last note lingered, Cinderella looked toward the open windows, where a gentle breeze carried the tune beyond the palace walls. Let it reach every heart, she whispered. Let kindness be our kingdom's song. That night, when she went to bed, she placed the little music box by her window. The moonlight fell across it, making the silver roses shimmer. As the lullaby played softly, Cinderella closed her eyes and smiled. In her dream, she saw her mother standing beneath the stars, smiling with gentle pride. You found it, her mother said. You found my melody. Cinderella ran into her arms. I missed you so much. Her mother brushed a tear from her cheek. I've never been gone, my love. I've always been in your heart, every time you listen, every time you love. When Cinderella woke in the morning, the music box had stopped playing, but the soft scent of roses filled the air. The harp stood silent once more, its strings still glowing faintly with the light of love remembered. And from that day forward, every morning as the sun rose, the palace bells played her mother's song, the queen's melody. They called it a tune that reminded everyone in the kingdom that love never truly fades. So, little dreamers, remember this: even when someone you love is far away, their song still lives in you, in your laughter, your kindness, and the joy you share. Love, like music, never ends. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to Little Dreamland Tales, and ring the bell so you never miss the next magical bedtime adventure. Sleep well, dear hearts, and may your dreams be filled with songs that never fade.